So leaders from various parties have filed nominations on Tuesday, as today is the last date for filing nomination for the 7th and last phase of general elections of India. BJP candidate Kangana Ranaut filed her nomination papers from the city of Mandi in Himachal Pradesh. BJP fielded Kangana Ranaut against Congress candidate and Himachal Pradesh Minister Vikramaditya Singh in Mandi, which will go to polls on June the 1st. Congress candidate Manish Tiwari filed his nomination papers from Chandigarh that will vote on June the 1st, the last phase of the ongoing general elections. Tiwari will face BJP's Sanjay Tandon in this political contest. So, overall 67% voter turnout was recorded in phase 4 of India's general elections, which concluded on 13th of May. 96 parliamentary seats across 10 states and union territories went to polls in this phase. Polling was held in all 17 Lok Sabha seats in Telangana, all 25 constituencies in Andhra Pradesh. Voting was also held in 13 seats in the battleground state of Uttar Pradesh. Notably, polling was also held in Srinagar in the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And this is the first general elections after the abrogation of Article 370, which granted special status to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. So, with nearly 37% voting, Srinagar recorded its highest voter turnout since 1996. And let's now understand the voter turnout of the 4th phase of India's elections with my colleague Anil Thomas. Anil, what do you read into the 67% overall voter turnout in the 4th phase of general elections?
Well, good afternoon, Tanvi. Well, the 67% of voter turnout in phase 4, when you compare that purely with the 2019 numbers, there is a dip of almost 1.7% purely on a phase-on-phase basis. But overall, if you see, except for phase 3, where there was a slight dip of 0.3%, all other phases we have seen the dip being major, and that having a cascading effect on the election numbers. But having said, when the percentage is low, we've still seen more voters being registered. So we could see more votes being done, most votes being put, as compared to the voting percentage that one would see. But overall, I would still say that, the hot summer still sinking in. We've still got 3 more phases to go. And this is for the first time we're seeing elections even in the month of June. So it's a tough ask for the political parties, for the political players, and also for all the candidates in the election fray, and very much for the Election Commission of India. But all in all, a 67% voter turnout in phase 3 is good numbers, I would say, looking at the southern part of India where elections are over and out with after this particular phase.
Okay. Anil, Srinagar in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir in India's north recorded its highest voter turnout since 1996, and in the first general elections in J&K after the abrogation of Article 370. How significant is this?
Well, the voting percentage of over 37%, in Srinagar is healthy. First, post the abrogation of Article 370. And so you mentioned 1996. 1996 was the last time we saw 41% voter turnout there. One needs to understand the constituency, in a bit detail. Look at that. It's a volatile old Srinagar city. Then you've got Budgam. You got, areas of Shopian and Pulwama attached to this particular constituency. So getting voters to come out and vote there, and if you look at the 2009-2014 numbers, roughly around 23-24% of voting, that saw a sharp dip in 2019, 14%, from 14% to see a jump over 35%, clearly good numbers. And I think, that's the best part of phase 4, or the best part of, the 4 phases of elections that we have seen, that such good numbers or good number of voters coming out and casting their vote, especially in Srinagar. And that's good overall for the picture, the festival of democracy that we are celebrating in India. And it's a poster or an imprint for the world to follow.
All right. Now, the highlight of the day has been Prime Minister Narendra Modi filing his nomination papers from Varanasi. And we've told our viewers he won the last 2 terms from this seat with huge margins. So what can we expect this time?
Well, not much of a change in script. Remember, Varanasi has always been a bastion for the national political parties, either the Congress or the BJP. And if you share that seat or look at the demographics of the seat purely from an election perspective, it's generally 7 times the BJP has won it, 7 times the Congress has won it. But in the latter half of 2000, it's generally been the BJP that's called the shots on that particular seat. This time around, not much of a change. If you see the opponent that stands before Prime Minister is once again Ajay Rai from the opposition bloc, and a few other players like the BSP's fielded a candidate, and there are 2-3 independent candidates that are there in the election fray to challenge the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister's win margin in 2014 was roughly around 56% of the vote share. That jumped to 63% in 2019. But this time around, the best percentage or a vote share that any candidate has won from the seat in Varanasi has been 66%, registered in 1977. And I think the enthusiasm and the expectation, especially the showering of love that the people of Varanasi have showered on the Prime Minister, clearly indicate that number of 66% of vote share, that that's the best ever recorded in Varanasi. Surely feeling the heat this time around on the 1st of June.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, if he wins it, it will be a hat-trick and it will be something of a record of such to talk about in political circles. Okay, Anil, lastly, it's the last day of nominations for the 7th phase of polling today. So can we say that the last leg of the great Indian elections begins now?
Well, it's a festival of democracy, remember that, and there are close to 57 seats in that last phase of elections. Close to 8 states and union territories. There are 2 states in the north along with Chandigarh, union territory of Chandigarh. 2 states in the north, you've got Himachal and Punjab that goes to polls in this 7th phase. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal have seen elections across all 7 phases. So they continue to be there in this particular phase. But one thing significant about Uttar Pradesh is the BJP has 2 or 3 alliance partners in the state. And all of them, except Rashtriya Lok Dal that was there in the first phase of elections, all 2 other partners of the BJP or the NDA in UP will face the test in this elections. That's Rajbhar's party along with Apna Dal, Sonia Dal, the 2 seats that they are contesting. Mirza there along with the Prime Minister's seat of Varanasi that goes to polls in this phase. The last leg of the elections also in Odisha and Jharkhand. So the 7th phase could be interesting purely because remember, we have almost seen 379 seats or 2/3 of parliament that's already been elected. So it's going to be a good contest to see the final lap because, the excitement begins on first evening at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. when the elections are over. Remember, the exit polls and all that will come out, and the next 3 days are going to be harrowing times for all of us in the studios because we'll have to do all that number crunching.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much, Anil, for this analysis. Appreciate you joining us. And continuing